God, stream's so late today. I'm like fucking 3-4 hours late for stream today. Hi! Hi! God, and at the rate we're going, we may not actually be able to get into the game because the game is still downloading. 60% done. I'm waiting for the game to be done. So we're kind of just chilling while I wait for the game to be done. We're at 60%, so hopefully it won't take too long. But hey, that means we just get to hang out and chat. Super sorry for late stream being super late. We went out on a date yesterday, and while we were out, there was a couple stores we wanted to stop at because it's like a 45-minute drive away from home, so we don't go out very often. But all of them were closed by the time we were done eating dinner. And some of them had like really cool stuff like the Doki cups and stuff that I really wanted. So I decided to just wait. Also, Gord, thank you so much for the 40 months. What the fuck? That's a crazy sentence. 40 months. And Call Me Mental, thank you so much for the first. But yeah. So we decided to go back out there today to go to the stores. I had some stuff I need to get for Ducky. Which I did get. And then there was some stuff that I just wanted to look at. I'm desperately trying to find Noivern merch somewhere, but I'm like really struggling to find any. Like there's just not any like anywhere. And it honestly kind of breaks my heart a little bit. Honestly, hold on. Perhaps we can just look for some merch together. You'll find it one day. No, I won't! It's gone! Alright, we're gonna do just chatting while we wait for this to update. But I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to Etsy. And then I'm gonna shop with that. Because why the fuck, right? So, we're gonna grab a window capture. Pop open some Etsy. We're gonna, what the fuck? How did that happen? How the hell did my mic get muted? What the fuck? I have no idea how that happened. Ooh. That's fucking tacky as hell, but I kind of love it. That's got some shinies in there. $40, no reviews. That scares me actually a little bit. See, like, so they like post like this shit. What about this is Noivern? Why was this the first result when I typed in Noivern? Like, this is Espeon and Umbreon. Why was this the first thing that popped up when I typed in Noivern? My cat is obsessed? What? Are we using it for a cat? Like, why evolutions? Short by most relevant. And the top 3 things aren't even what I asked for. So these are miniatures, I think? It's a hot outfit, yeah. Oh, they're gray resin. I see. They'll come unpainted. Oh, so it's like a paint your own situation? Fascinating. I recommended. How are you? Oh yeah, they sure do. They come unpainted. Oh, this is 3D printed though. They're not very big either. Jesus, that kind of sucks. Ooh. Peeker sticker. I should get one of these for my car. I don't have a car, but like one day maybe if I get a car, I should get one of these. Cause that's pretty cute actually. You put on my suitcase. Oh, that's smart. Oh, his little claws go over the edge. Oh. Yeah, you make a good point. We can't get 3D printed stuff at the library. We got a Noibat sticker set? Okay. Sorry, everything's loading slow because I'm like downloading the game that we're supposed to play today. It's only at 70%. I hope you're having a good weekend. It is pretty good, honestly. I'm having a good time. Hold on. Lo-fi. I'm changing up the music. Pokemon. There we go. I want Pokemon lo-fi. There we go. That's not lo-fi, that's just piano. Hold on. Lo-fi girl. Medieval lo-fi. That's what we're looking for. Oh yeah. But yeah, no, recommended. How are you doing? I'm doing all right. I'm actually, we went out drinking. I say we went out drinking. Oh my God, he's so cursed. I love him. We went out, Gore wanted me to meet one of his friends from work that I had never met before. So we actually went out and did that and met him and his fiance. And I got wasted. I mean, not like wasted, but I did get a little tipsy. But it was fun. I had a really good time. Got my favorite desserts. All in all, a good weekend. How has your weekend been? But like, look at this. You type in Noivern and like barely anything. Oh, these are kind of cute, actually. They're pretty cute. But like, there's like barely anything. Like, it's all in like Noibat, which is fine. But like, why is he so long? Why is he so skinny? Ugh. But I want Noivern. I don't really like. I'll get Noibat stuff, but it's not like really what I want. Oh. Oh, it's his wings. It's like a little neck piece. Oh, wait, that's actually really cute. They've got Fluttermane too? Okay, that's actually kind of cute. Oh, they're meant to go on furry models. I see. Fascinating. Okay. No, no, no. It's just like when it comes to Noivern, it's kind of hard to get like good Noivern merch because like there's barely any. And what there is like is kind of all the same. Every time I go to an anime convention, I always hope to find like Noivern merch, and I'm never really lucky. I've only found Noivern merch at a convention once. I've never been lucky. See if they do customs for your favorite Pokemon. That's not a bad idea. They got tarot cards, earrings, but there's a Noibat. Like, the fuck? There's like barely any Noivern shit. But watch this. Watch this. You want to see something really fucking stupid? I type in Houndoom. Here we go. Houndoom everything. Like, this is sick! Like, look at him! He's so cool! 3D models for Houndoom. Like, we got that. We got the Absol Houndoom shirt. Oh, that's trippy as fuck to look at. Oh my god. Oh, Houndour Peeker stickers. Actually, Houndoom doesn't really have a whole lot either. Hi, Nick. It's going good. We're kind of just looking at stuff to buy. I'm waiting for the game to finish downloading. It's ended up being a lot bigger than I expected it to be. Okay, the way this hat's actually cute as fuck, and I would actually wear it, is crazy. All the boomers love him. I don't know about that. I don't know about all the boomers loving him. He looks like the devil. I'm not sure if interesting. We're gonna play Lies of P, but it's way bigger than I thought it was, and I was stupid and didn't think to set it to upload while I was gone. So we're waiting for it. There's a Houndoom VTuber, Mr. Houndoom. They're a Yu-Gi-Oh VTuber? What do you mean they're a Yu-Gi-Oh VTuber? they have a Pokemon name, but they're a Yu-Gi-Oh VTuber? Also, why is he sassy as fuck? He's pretty cute though. Gotta catch 'em all. Hi, third word. Yeah, we're gonna play Lies of Peach. Whoa, why is this dog giving fuck me eyes? What the fuck? Why is this dog giving me fuck me eyes? I'm scared. I'm so frightened. I mean, it's cute art, but like, why is it looking at me like that? She does Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon stuff? Oh, interesting. Aww, look at my little man being held by the scruff. Oh, that's how chat holds me when I misbehave. You'll just grab me by the scruff and just lift. Projecting! I am doing no such thing. That's just what it looked like. I very much am the Houndoom VTuber, I feel like. Both with my colors and my aesthetic, I feel like I ended up being the Houndoom VTuber. I just love them. They're good little boys. Like, look at him. Look at this little dude. Who could hate this little man? Oh, so cute. I love them. They are the fucking Rottweilers. Oh, it's Animal Crossing. That's cute. They are the Rottweilers of the Pokemon universe. Add the horns from the new design and Pokemon's gonna sue me. That would actually be really funny. Getting sued by Pokemon. This is sick as fuck. What do you mean this is $5? This is so fucking cool. Hold on, I'm gonna leave that open. I might come back for that. It's $5. That's sick as hell. Oh my god! Look at him! Cowboy Whooper! Cowboy Whooper! What? He's so fucking cute! Oh my god, there's so many of them! Oh, there is enough room in this town for the both of yous. Oh, it's high whoop. I can't believe this product wasn't made by the official Pokemon factories. Wait, this is one of Ducky's favorite Pokemon. And it's hand sewn. Oh, okay, I gotta save this. I'm making a box of stuff to send to Ducky in a gift box. Oh, they're made by the same person. Okay. So I'll definitely hold on to that. Oh! Oh! Farigiraffe! Farigiraffe! Oh, look at him. So cute. Oh, so cute. Oh, that little side eye. Oh, I love him. I mean, when they're being handmade, I think it makes sense for them to be that expensive. You know what I mean? And they're great quality. Look at him. He looks like a Build-A-Bear. Look at that. He looks like a Build-A-Bear. Like, that's crazy. I think 140, I think 145 is absolutely warranted when you're getting them custom made, you know? Like handmade, yeah. And embroidered. The listing is ready to ship. Yeah, like that's crazy. I think that's super fair, actually. Because they've got regular ones too. Oh, they got a little shiny Lapras. That's so cute. Is that all that they have? Oh yeah, that is all they have right now. Oh, they're so cute. I would follow them, but I'm not signed in. I'm not trying to like leak my address anywhere on accident. That's fucking adorable though. Guy Fieri! Oh boy, we need to get the fuck out of here. Alright, what else we got? Let's see. A Doom Ball? Oh, that's so fucking cute. I want my wedding ring put in. I want to be proposed to with my ring inside of a Pokeball. I think that'd be really cute. I don't know, I love Pokemon so much. A friend of mine, oh my god, I need this. I need this. I need this! Oh, I need this. The Cool Dog 420 sticker. Oh, I absolutely need this. That's so fucking cute. But no, a friend of mine got proposed to around the same time that I did. And her favorite Pokemon is Shiny Eevee. And her husband played her and her husband played Pokemon Go together. Her and her now husband played Pokemon Go together all the time. Oh, that's super cute too. The energy drink. That's so cute. But yeah, her and her now husband played Pokemon Go together all the time. And he caught he spent a bunch of time while she was at work on the days that he had off because we all worked at the same place, and he spent a bunch of time on the days that he had off while she was working out playing Pokemon to like catch a shiny Eevee. And he gave it to her. He like traded it to her. What they went like okay, so the proposal was like they went out to a park and they went walking to play Pokemon Go, and he was like, "Oh, I got this Pokemon the other day that I think you'd really like. Can I trade it to you real quick?" And she was like, "Oh yeah. What is it?" And he's like, "It's a surprise." And the Pokemon, he named the shiny Eevee, "Will you or like marry me?" question mark, and sent it to her. And so like she has her phone out and she's like has her phone in front of her face. And she's like looking at it. And so when the trade went through, she saw the "marry me," and when she put her phone down, he was like kneeling in front of her with the wedding ring. And I was like, that's so fucking cute! It's like private, but doing something that you both really enjoy. And, you know, like he listened and knew what you liked. And like it was just so fucking cute. And she told me the story and she was like blushing and was like so happy. And I was like, oh my god, that's fucking adorable. I love that so much. So yeah, cutest fucking Pokemon related proposal I've ever seen or ever heard of by anybody I know personally. That Noibat is so cute. Honestly, so is the Rowlet, so is the Dino, the Mimikyu. They're all cute, honestly. I'd be happy with all of these. All of these are super fucking cute. It's adorable. I'm just saving things in this fucking incognito tab for me to open in a non-incognito tab later to buy. I need fucking therapy. I love buying things. God, I love to buy things. Oh my god, Etsy is so dangerous. It's like an anime convention. It's like being at an artist alley at an anime convention, but like every day of my life. It's so dangerous for me. I love it though. I'm like, ooh, that's so pretty. Ooh. Just saving all these tabs, just leaving them all open for later. Oh, there's some Appleton enamel pins. We should send those to your friend, Gore. Gore's coworker really loves Appleton, which is such a goated choice because I don't really feel like anybody likes Appleton. I mean, I love the fact that that's kind of like the thing about Pokemon. Oh, Darkspawn. I love that that's like a thing about Pokemon is that a Pokemon that you really don't think twice about, somebody else is in love with. Oh, they gave him a Dia de los Muertos. Look at his little, oh, look at his little candy skull. Oh, he's so cute. I gotta do some Etsy shopping later for a 30th birthday gift. Oh my god. Let me do it for you. I fucking love Etsy shopping. Etsy's where my sister got a cool fluid gold flake filled dice set. Oh yeah, you can get really cute dice. Yeah, look at the video of them. Oh, they're so cute. Doing the little play pose with the Litwick. Oh, he just wants to play with the Litwick. I gotta find a walking cane that doesn't cost me an arm and a leg. Oh, see, I got mine from, I got my walking cane from, the Ren Fair. Hell Dog Furry 3D printed Huh? Huh? Y'all are going to hell. Why would y'all do this to my... Oh my god. Y'all are going to hell. Y'all are going to hell. Every single one of y'all, every single one of y'all that's in these reviews, y'all are getting on a fast elevator to hell. What? No! Okay, she's clothed. Okay, that's fine. I didn't think she was clothed. We're fine. Oh. Oh no. I always forget that side of Etsy exists. Oh no. Oh no. I'm terrified. I'm so scared. The fuck's going on here? Oh no. But yeah, so I went out today to buy Ducky some more gifts to add to my box so I could mail them to her soon. Because I haven't sent Ducky a care package in a while. That is so good. Bidoof, our Lord and Savior. That is so good. Oh, I was hoping it was actual stained glass. That was wild. I was like, can you send me that link? Absolutely not. Also, not y'all losing at the foot art. I was gonna post feet stuff and then y'all all voted no. Oh, certified good boy. Oh, he is a good boy. I love him. I love Houndoom. Oh. I should rank Pokemon while I sit here and wait for this fucking game. I should do a tier list, a Pokemon tier list. How much time do we have left? Okay, we got like 10 minutes left. I could do a Gen 1 tier list maybe. I don't think I've done a Pokemon tier list in a while. I need to get a custom phone case. Let's look at that. Pokemon iPhone cases. We legit mostly voted yes, but yeah, but y'all didn't stick your votes together is the problem. Y'all shouldn't have split the vote. Learn for the upcoming election. Y'all should never split the vote. Pokemon iPhone case. I don't know what iPhone I have. That's not even Pokemon. What iPhone do I have? What the fuck? What iPhone do I have? Poll was rigged. Make America gore again 2025. I'm gonna need y'all to actually do that. iPhones. iPhone 16? Do I have a 16? Images? How many fucking hold on. 1 second. Grabbing my phone. Okay, I think I do I? What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? What phone do I have? Do I what? What phone do I have? Hold on. My model's gonna freeze for a second. I'm going into my phone settings to see what phone I have. General about. I have a 13. Okay. Okay. Got it. We're good. I have an iPhone 13. iPhone 13. Yeah, Gore, send me the thing if you just have it up the top of the dome. Okay. iPhone 13 cases. These are super fucking cute. Why is there not one pattern? Oh, they don't have one for fucking my babies though. See, I like these, but my fear is that these are just AI art posted on a fucking phone case. You know what I mean? Do you like how I have an iPhone, but I don't know anything about my own iPhone? I mean, the gang cards are cute too, I guess, but like, I'm like looking for like something. Oh, the dittos. The dittos are pretty cute. I'm like looking for something that like fits me. Apparently all my favorite Pokemon are fucking hated by the world. Look, one of the guys we met last night, he has a Snom phone case. And I'm like, how'd you find that? That's a cute ditto phone case. I was like, bro, where'd you get that from? Oh. Oh. Oh, okay. See, that's an interesting little thing you have there. Okay, I'll try that later. Thank you. I'll do it after the ad. I'll keep shopping until the ad breaks over. That's Kirby. I typed in Pokemon and it's recommending me shit that's not Pokemon. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is all this? I want Pokemon. Don't recommend me shit that isn't what I asked for. That's fucking ridiculous. These ugly bitches can get a phone case, but I can't. This is fucking awful, man. Oh, custom phone case. Here we go. Here we go. Now we're talking. Show me these custom phone case. Oh man, these are thick bitches. These aren't gonna fit in my pockets. Select Pokemon from the drop menu. Select the phone type. Okay. Leave note with design requests. Add upgrades to start. Oh shit. Look at that. They've got a nice little list here of like little tiny Pokemon. And not a single one that I really like. I mean, I like Rowlet, but I don't like the fact that Rowlet's wearing that bitch Pikachu on his head. Okay, so these are bling cases. Which is cute. They are cute. I like that they're kind of like frosted. If you ever want a frosted tip Pokemon. I can order some rare Pokemon. Ooh. I am a Pikachu hater. I fucking hate that bitch. He doesn't deserve any of the fame that he has. Fuck him. He's so basic looking. I can think of so many other Pokemon that deserve his fame, like Houndoom. Fuck this shit. He is responsible for Pokemon's popularity. Bullshit. He's not at all what got me interested in Pokemon. And I'm sure that's true for a lot of other people too. Okay, so this website or this person seems to just sell a lot of these. Oh, they're from China. Fascinating. iPhone cases. Yeah, see, I feel like a lot of these are just AI art slapped onto a phone case and called a day. Oh, that Ace one's kind of nice though. You know what I mean? Like maybe some of these aren't, but I feel like some of them are for sure. Nintendo cases. Oh, that's like actual like Nintendo cases. Clear phone cases. Oh. Okay, see, we can do some of this. This is nice. This is good for me. Pikachu over Charizard. I don't like either of them. I think they're both bitches. Dragonite over Charizard. Fuck that shit. Yeah, these are pretty sick. Like these are pretty cool. Mystery Dungeon logo at the top. Yeah, those are sick. I don't mind those at all. Cool dog. Hydreigon overall, so fucking true. I mean, not Noibat, of course, and Noivern, but like all those other bitches, absolutely. Jesus. Yeah, Etsy's a dangerous place for me. I kind of hate all of these though. Yeah, I kind of hate all of these. This sucks. This sucks. It sucks to be me, man. Oh wait, Gore, that Pokemon picker that you sent me. Oh, it actually shows photos of the Pokemon. Okay, we'll do that then. I thought it was just the names, and I was like, you can't do that to me. I'm so bad at just names. All right. All right, we'll do this. Okay, so let's start with Gen 1, I think would be good. All right, so we're gonna do this because the game still has that's at 98%. Okay, so it should be done here soon. All right, let's see. Start with Gen 1, normal type. Is this the whole list of normal types for Gen 1? Are you being so fucking for real right now? That's it? I mean, if I had to pick, probably Eevee. Okay, fire types. Gen 1 fire types, it's gonna be Arcanine, for sure. Gen 1 water types, Vaporeon, I think. Grass types for Gen 1. Oh god, I dislike most grass types for Gen 1, I've just discovered. Venusaur. This is the chart I used the last time I tiered. Oh, nice. I don't think I've ever used this chart before. Gore just sent it to me, though. So, electric type for Gen 1. Y'all are gonna find this really funny. I really like Raichu. I hate Pikachu, but I really like Raichu. Ice type is gonna be Lapras. Lapras is my ice. Fuck you. Fighting type. I don't care for fighting types much, but if I had to pick one out of all of these, it'd probably be Poliwhirl. Yeah, Raichu is way cuter, especially a Alolan Raichu. Jesus, why were there so many poison types? Okay, if I had to pick a poison type... Oh, Liza P just finished. If I had to pick a poison type, I'm gonna go with Haunter. Or Gengar. I like Gengar. Ground type, Cubone, for sure. Flying type. All the enemies use poison types, yeah. Flying type, I'm gonna say Dragonite. He's pretty cute. Psychic type. Oh, yeah, Gen 1 Psychics I didn't really care for, so we're gonna go with Mew. Bugs. If I had to pick a bug, it'd be Butterfree. Oh god, I need to scroll. Okay, rock type. I really like Aerodactyl, honestly. So we'll go with Aerodactyl. Ghost type, we're gonna grab Haunter, because Haunter is also really cute. Dragon type, if I had to pick, is gonna be Dragonite. Dark, there was no dark type back then, so I'm just gonna pick the substitute. Steel, I mean, I guess these guys, there's only 2 of them. Fairy type, I'm gonna go for my little girl, Clefairy. And then out of all the starters, we're gonna go Eevee again. Gimmick forms. Oh my god. Oh my god, what are some of these? I don't really care for gimmick forms much, if you want me to be completely honest. But if I had to pick out of all of these, it's probably gonna be Mothra Butterfree. I really like Mothra Butterfree. Legendaries for these, probably Articuno. You may need to zoom out your window. No, it's okay. It's okay. Here, I'll just scooch it over here for now. I know y'all's text is there. Okay, so favorite Gen 1 out of all of the ones I picked, Arcanine. Absolutely. Okay, so now we're gonna go back. Yeah, it's hard to see because chat's there. Okay, Gen 2. I want to fill out this sheet, actually. I'm actually having a good time. Ooh, Gen 2 has good normal types. Shit. I'm probably gonna have to go Miltank, though. I really like Miltank. Fire types, Houndour. Absolutely. Oh, Entei's there too, but Houndour. Absolutely. I really like this tier list. Yeah, this is good. This is good. Houndour, or Houndoom automatically. Water types. Ooh. I think I really like Gen 2 Pokemon I'm just now discovering. Suicune, though, is one of my faves. Grass types. Oh. Okay, this is gonna be a weird pick for y'all. Doing this from scratch alongside you and loving the dichotomy. I'm so weird when it comes to Pokemon. I really like Sunflora, though. Electric types. Ooh. I really like these guys. I don't know why. Maybe it's because they're pink. Obviously. Oh, yeah, okay. I love Sunflora! Sunflowers are my favorite flowers, so I can't not love Sunflora. Here, actually, I'm gonna zoom in so y'all can see a little better. There we go. Is that nicer for y'all? And I'll even take chat and lift chat up a little bit. There we go. There we go. Is that nicer for y'all? Is that easier for y'all to see? And then I'll like scroll down. There we go. Sunflora is a great design. He's just a little sunflower with legs. I don't remember that's Sneasler, I think. I can't remember his name. I don't remember this guy's name. I think it's Ampharos, but I like him a lot. And then Hitmontop, which I just love because I Dr. Bustdown. Poison type, probably him. Okay, ground type. Ground type is where it gets hard for me because actually, I'm gonna be real honest with you. It doesn't get hard for me. It's Phanpy. I saw a Phanpy today and I was like, yay! Flaffy. Yeah, Ampharos is Flaffy's evolution. That's what it is. I saw one of these guys today at a store and I was like so tempted to buy him. Okay, flying type for this generation. Ooh. Lugia. I really, really, really like Lugia. Bug type. Oh, psychic type. Okay. Actually, let's make Honchkrow, Murkrow, because I really like Murkrow. So we'll go Murkrow and then we'll go Lugia here. Yeah. Well, no, no. We're gonna do Lugia here, and then we're gonna do Girafarig. Because I love Girafarig. So we're gonna do Girafarig for sure. Bug type. Still don't really care for any of you, but if I had to pick, it'd probably be this little man. Rock type. Okay, so fun fact. I prefer the first evolution over the last evolution, so we're gonna go Larvitar. I was about to call BS. You don't have to do all that. There's only one ghost type, and she was who I was gonna pick anyways. I guess because that's the only dragon type. Dark type, we're gonna go for Umbreon, because I love Umbreon. And then steel type, we're gonna grab this boy. You prefer the second? Really? Fascinating. Fairy type. Okay. This is gonna get some people heated. It is. But my favorite fairy type for this generation is Snuffle. I love him. Snubble is so good. If I had to pick a favorite starter for this generation, probably Cyndaquil starting out. I think he's really cute. Gimmick tier, believe it or not. I say believe it or not like it's hard to believe. But I will say one of my favorite legendaries of all time is Entei. I know I picked Entei, I know I picked Suicune and Lugia, but these are like these are my favorite legendaries of all time is Suicune, Lugia, and Entei. So you can't really blame me. But my favorite all around for this generation, damn, that's a tight. I don't really care for Raikou now. God, that is a tight. Okay. There is a lot of Pokemon on this list that I really, really like, actually. But if I had to pick a favorite, I'm gonna be so honest. I'm really between Girafarig and Houndoom as my favorite. And Phanpy for some reason. Phanpy's sitting there and I'm looking at him and I can't. It's really hard for me to deny his little face. But I'm gonna go with Houndoom. Even though it feels kind of wrong. I wish I could pick two, but we'll go with Houndoom for now. Phanpy is so cute! I don't know what else I could do. Okay, Gen 3. Okay. Normal type for Gen 3. I went with Heracross. He's my Snubble. Aww. Okay, I'm gonna be so real with you. The only normal type I like in Gen 3 is Spinda. I don't know why. Like Zigzagoon and Linoon are cute, but Spinda is my baby for some reason. I don't know. If I had to pick a fire type, I'm picking the chick. I'm picking the chick. Water types. Oh my god, there's so many of y'all. Obviously, the queen herself. Milotic. Grass type. There's some good grass types this generation. I have to go with Trico, though. I love him too much to not go with Trico. Out of these electric types, I'm gonna pick Electrike. Ice types, man, this generation is okay for me. I don't really have like any like. Yeah, I'm kind of just picking based off vibes alone for this generation. It's okay for me, I guess. Damn. I do not think I like Gen 3. That's a kind of sad statement to make, but I don't think I like Gen 3. Are you telling me this is the only bad bitch to come out of Gen 3? That is a shame. And this fucking slut ass pig, whose name I can't even remember. Oh my god. Gen 3's making me a little sad, actually. I really am just picking based on vibes. Like, I don't really care for any of these Pokemon. Like, Banette? I love Banette. You're telling me there's just a handful of bad bitches that came from this generation? That's crazy. Absol. Mawile. I guess I'll drop a Corellia in there. Yeah, Mawile's good. If I had to pick a favorite starter, it's Trico. Favorite form? I hmm. I guess Banette. I like that she's all unzipped. Legendary. Dark Lugia, I guess. Man, this is yeah. Gen 3 has some strong hitters, but you're so right. The rest are so mid. Like this is rough. I guess if I had to pick my favorite, God, this sucks. Like, not to be mean, but this sucks. I guess Absol would be my favorite. God, I just realized my favorites have all been dogs so far. That's rough. Okay, we're just gonna jump over to Gen 4 because this is not a good time. It's the gens of absolute highs and absolute lows. God, you're so right. All right. Okay. Here we go, baby. Diamond and Pearl. I need y'all to know, too, Gen 3 was my first ever Pokemon game. I was playing for shit, apparently. Because Sapphire was my first ever Pokemon game, and apparently I should have hated it. Because what the fuck? Alright, but Gen 4 is here. Come on, Diamond and Pearl. We got Lopunny, sexy ass rabbit. We got the monkey. I love the monkey. We got water types. I guess Beeperl. I like Beeperl. He's pretty cute. Yeah, we'll go for Beeperl. You got the grass types with Shaman. I like Shaman. I didn't even see Shaman down there. We got electric types, and I do really like Luxray. Like the final evolution, I think he's great. So we'll take him. Ice types, we've got my wife. There she is. I got husband and wife up side by side. We got fighting types, Lucario, obviously. Dope. We got poison types. Some of y'all are gonna think I'm weird for this. Some of y'all are gonna think I'm weird for this. I love this little skunk. I think he's really cute. If you didn't go with Frost last, we were fighting. No. There's no need to fight. All right. Ground types, obviously. Got my boy. God, Gen 4 is so... Oh, Gen 4 is so good! Look at these birds! Oh. Oh. Oh, this is so good for me. I mean, the bugs are still fucking whatever, but I mean, I guess we'll take the MILF. Hi, Junk! How are you? Long time no see. We're gonna take my little man, I think. Okay. Okay! Love this for me. This is so good. This is so good. And then dragons, we're gonna have to slap this boy on here. Oh, this is such a good gen. Picking Pokemon has never been easier for me. The fuck is this? Steel type? I'm gonna have to go with Lucario again, I think. Just cause. Ugh. I've never had an easier time with a gen. Piplup's my favorite starter. I think he's adorable. Sexy ass Lopunny. No Yanmega mods can time out. I don't like Yanmega that much. He's kind of ugly. I do love Darkrai's probably my favorite of this generation though. I'm hanging in there looking towards returning to work. like artwork or like a work, like a 9 to 5 job. And then, oh god, if I had to pick a favorite for this generation, it's Lot Bunny. I can't even pretend like it's not. It's Lot Bunny. Wow, finally, we have a favorite that's not a fucking dog! Okay. Okay. We got Gen 5, Black and White, the generation I did not play. Let's see. Chat. 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 Why is there a random woman's legs? Chat. Who is this woman? Why can I select her as a normal type? Who is this? Is this a Ben 10 creature? Who are these bitches at the end here? What are these hoes? Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. What is happening? I'm worried about it. Anyways, believe it or not, I really like this fucking cow. Okay. From one of the optional game modes, what the fuck is Black and White even? Like a society enhancing job that'll give me the energy to create again? Maybe, but I'm really happy for you. I'm really glad that that's something that you're gonna start doing again here soon. You fight people on cost. What the fuck is Black and White? What the? I'm genuinely concerned. What the fuck is Black and White? Anyways, Volcarona. Water types. I'm gonna have to go with this little guy. He's just fucking queer as hell. I really like him. I don't know anything about him, but he's queer as fuck. Let's see, who do we got here? Okay, I have to pick my obvious favorite. Oh, but Whimsicott's here too. Shit. I think Black and White was the start of like, I don't know. What if like we had a pencil for a Pokemon? God, you're so right though. Okay, we're gonna go with Leavanny, I guess. Because I like him a little more than Whimsicott. Oh, I can't pick Leavanny for bug type. You're so right. Okay. I really like Joltik. Joltik is like one of my favorite electric types of all time. I fucking hate this bitch. All of you. I hate you all. I'm taking the snotty bear. Alright, anyways. Fighting type, I have to go... Oh, this is rock type. For rock type, I have to go for the cunt. If you're not serving cunt... Fighting. Yeah, there's fighting. Okay. If you're not serving cunt as a fighting type, I don't want you, truly, at the end of the day. I love the seasoned deer. I also really like them. I think they're really pretty. I've never actually played it. Like, I've collected them in Pokemon games, but I don't think I've ever, like, played with them in Pokemon games. Oh, I'm taking you. I love you. Venipede, I love you. Ooh. I love Golurk. So we're gonna take you. I want the butt plug bat, I think, for flying type. And then I gotta take the ultimate goth bitch for psychic type, obviously. The scrunkly fighting type lizard with pants. Oh yeah, Scrafty or Scrap. Is this Scrafty? I don't even remember. Okay, yeah, so we'll pick Leavanny for bug type because I love Leavanny. There's a lot of bugs in this generation. What is this, rock type? I don't really like any of you, but I'll take the hermit crab. I used to raise hermit crabs. I can accept you. We're obviously gonna go for Chandelure. For dragons, fun fact, we're gonna do mid-evolution because I like that they look like two goth teenage boys. It makes me laugh, so... Ghost and water types are my faves. I love dragon types. I'm a big dragon type fan. Dragon and dark types are my favorite, I think. We're gonna take Zora, of course, because Zora I adore. Chandelure is so special to me. It was my best friend's favorite Pokemon before he passed away, and so Chandelure will always hold a very special place in my heart. I'm ignoring everything that's on this final row just because I don't want to know. I'm gonna take you, though, because I think you're cool. I'm gonna take Whimsicott again. If I had to pick a favorite starter, believe it or not, it's this guy. Again with the fucked up legs. Okay, so I have two options here, and I'm not gonna go for the pile of trash, so we're gonna go for that. Favorite legendary for this generation? Yeah. They're all okay, but I kind of like the green one, so we'll take the green one, I guess. Yeah, Gore adores normal types. Normal and fairy are his babies. Okay, who are we going for this round? I don't even know why I asked. It's fucking Zora. I'm a goth bitch. I'm a black and red loving bitch, if y'all couldn't tell. All right, what is this? Gen 6, X and Y. Okay, I liked X and Y. My favorite normal type. I really like Frou Frou. Gore hates me for this, but I do really like Frou Frou. Goth doggy team. I don't mean to be, but I really like Frou Frou. So we'll grab Frou Frou. Oh, I'm trying not to pick like these because I already know I love these. So, I do love this witch, this fox witch. I fucking hate this bitch. This whole evolutionary line I can't stand. So I'll go for the seahorse instead. Hi, King. How are you? Ooh, okay. I really like Phantump, so we're gonna grab a Phantump. I fucking hate Pikachu. I'm grabbing Ampharos. I love these guys. I think they're so pretty. These guys. I can't even remember like what their name is. Yeah, I'll grab Buneri for this. That's fine. Gore doesn't like Frou Frou, and I think it's homophobic that Gore doesn't like Frou Frou. But I also grew up with I grew up with poodles, so I really like poodles. There she is! That's my baby! I'm so sorry. There she is! Okay. We're good. My bad. I'm so sorry. Yagi! Yagi, you can't just come in here and make that your first message of the day! Shit! Would I fuck annoy? I mean, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. I'm not happy about it, though. Ugh. I wish I could mod you. Don't mod her. Do not mod her. Oh, God. I'm fighting for my life. What are these, dragon types? We're gonna grab a second Noivern just because I love them that much. I love this fucking sexy ass Absol. I shouldn't have called it sexy. There's something wrong with me, I think. Mawile, yeah, sure, that's fine. There's something wrong with me. You can't be trusted with a sword. I don't know what you would do. Don't take one of my word choices. Don't do it. Oh God, I fucking hate it here. Okay, favorite mega sexy rabbit. I'm sorry. It can't be helped. Favorite legendary dog. Actually, I really like Xerneas, so we'll pick Xerneas again. Favorite out of this generation? Hard call. It's not. It's fucking Noivern. Don't smile at me. That feels like a threat. Alright. What do we got here? What is this? Alola? I'm gonna be so real with y'all. Alola definitely gave me some fighters, but none that were like really my favorite. Like, I guess the sexy lizard. I guess the sexy seal. Like, why was that? Like, why is that something I have to say? I get I guess the sexy plant, the sexy bug. Like, what is happening? I am so close to peach content I can taste under the ads. Somebody give Junk a fucking sub so that they don't have to see the ads anymore. Like, why is this a Lola? Yeah, I guess I'll take the fighting bear, the sexy lizard, the sexy seal, the sexy bug. Like, why is that? Why are those the words I have to say? The cute rat, the sexy fox. Like, I fucking hate it here. I love these little fuckers. They look like they're staring into the depths of hell. The sexy mosquito. The sexy jellyfish. The horse. It's actually the dog, I think. I really like. Oh, shit. What the fuck? What'd I do? Nihiligo? Yeah. He's fucking the sexy bird, I guess. It's actually Rowlet. I like the bat. Give me the bat. Yeah, the sexy bug. Part 2. The sexy wolf. I'm kidding. That's just a dog. It's just a wolf. It was a joke. It's a joke, chat. I do like Mimikyu a lot, so we'll slide Mimikyu in there. Alright, yeah, we'll take the samurai dragon. Wow. Yeah, sure. You know what? I'll take him. He's pretty cool. I don't even remember half of these bitches. The fuck? This little guy. I think he's cute. Jesus, I really don't remember half of these Pokemon. I played the game. What the fuck? Who are some of you bitches? I played this game, right? I did. I know I did. Oh my god. Once again, I'm picking the dog as my favorite, though. Dark with big triangle ears is the way. I guess so. Okay, we're jumping to Sword and Shield. I like Sword and Shield. So we're gonna go ahead and grab... shit. I'm gonna grab Giant Eevee. Just because I think they're very cute. Bye, Junk! Thanks for coming! Alright, fire types. We're gonna have to go for this big fucking centipede ass bitch. I actually know we're gonna have to go for the drunk. Long Meowth? I mean, Long Meowth is good. It's Meowth. Actually, you know what? Y'all are both wrong, Stantler. Anyways, who do we got for water types? Queer assassination attempt. Weird deer. Yeah, weird deer. We'll take queer assassination attempt. Let's see. We'll take bad haircut. We'll take dog that nobody seems to like except for me. Please send me the video. Giant Lapras. You know what? You're so right. We'll pick Giant Lapras. Let's see. What do we got here? We'll pick me and no. We'll pick Batpack Carry Ride. It's Game Grumps related and Pokemon. Oh, okay. Actually, we'll do Batpack Carry Ride here. And then here we'll do me and my bros coming to fuck you up at a 7-Eleven. Then here we're gonna do Bear. Just Bear. Here I think the best call forward is going to be Bird Part 1. And then here it's going to be Don't Have Emotions, I Fucking Hate You. Then moving on down here, we're gonna go with Mothra's Big Sister. Moving on down here, we're gonna have Dog, but in the ancient era. Coming here, we're gonna go for MILF, but she shoots her kids at you. Homicidal MILF. And then here we're gonna go with dragon, but maybe snail. I think here I'm gonna go with Aaron Hansen's career in crime. Yasuin Godra is just a little guy. He really is. For steel type, we're gonna go with Murderous Bird. For this, we're gonna go with A Wedding Cake to Remember. For grass type, is this starter? For starter, I think I'm once again gonna have to go with High on Life. Yes, Whole Cake Island. What the fuck is this? Gimmick form? Oh, Jesus. I don't really know what my favorite gimmick form was. There's a lot that I liked, but I don't know if I had like a favorite. Honestly, I'm lying to myself. I did have a favorite. It's High on Life. Favorite legendary is Sword Dog ×2. I actually like the original Sword Dog. And then favorite Pokemon altogether is probably gonna have to be High on Life. I have three Pokemon in my faves that aren't dogs. This is fucking ridiculous. This is fucking ridiculous. Okay, this is the generation I fucking hated. And I already can tell you what my favorite Pokemon is. It's fucking Farigiraf. I cried when the Farigiraf reveal dropped. I was on my hands and knees sobbing. Alright, let's see. We're gonna go with the cooler one. For water types, we're gonna go with Queer Fat Ass Duck. I fucking hate Scarvi, man. For grass types, we're gonna go with fucking Queer Magician. For electric types, I guess we'll go for shonen main character. Not Ogerpon? Was Ogerpon in here? Oh yeah, she was. Ogerpon's okay. I think she's cute, but she's definitely not the cutest. I think her sprite's kind of ugly. You want to hear a fun fact about the Pommy line? Is it the fact that they're small as fuck? I'll take Titan. I like Titan. I don't even know what the fuck. Sure, I'll take them. Oh my god, I fucking hate the Pokemon of this generation. They're all so boring to look at. Oh my fucking god. Yeah, give me this guy, sure. These are the only flying types? Oh my god. Oh my god. I hate this generation, man. This fucking sucks. In Japanese, their oh no. That's too much for me. Parmot? I hate it. I can't. I fucking hate this generation, man. I wish it was a joke, but it's really not a joke at this point. I cannot stand this generation. Like, ugh. This generation fucking sucks, man. Oh my god. All right, we're done. We're done with that generation. All right, out of all of the normal types, my favorite is my baby. Out of all of the fire types, my favorite is my baby. Out of all of the water types, my favorite is my baby. Out of all of the plant types, my favorite is Out of all the electric types, my favorite is. Out of all of the ice types, my favorite is. Yeah, this is plant type. I guess grass, whatever. Whatever, man. Whatever. It's plants. It's plant type to me. Anyways, out of all the fighting types, my favorite is. Out of all the poison types, my favorite is. What are these? Out of all the ground types, my favorite is. Out of all of the flying types, my favorite is. Out of all of the psychic types, my favorite is. Okay, I already have him down for normal. So we're gonna go with Esper for this one. I do really like Esper. Bug types, my favorite is. The fuck are these? Rock types? Yeah, rock types. Out of all of the rock types, my favorite is. Out of all of the ghost types, my. Are these ghost? Yeah, ghost. My favorite is. Actually, this is kind of difficult. I'm gonna go with Banette. Out of all of the dragon types, my favorite is. Out of all of the dark types, my favorite is. We're gonna do the sassy Absol. Out of all of the steel types, my favorite is. Mawile. You want to think about dragon for a moment? I mean, no. Out of all the fairy types, my favorite is. Out of all of the starters, my favorite is. Out of all of the regional special typings, my favorite is. Honestly, probably it's him. Out of all the legendaries, my favorite is Xerneas. And all together, my favorite is. Also, it's nice to see all my favorites lined up. This is quite nice for me. I like that. I like that. That's good for me. Oh my god. I can pick a favorite Spenda. Make him bald. Make him bald. Make him bald. Oh, now you can make your dream team? Oh, okay. That's kind of cool. Like, just out of my favorite Pokemon? Because if so... Um... You... You... And... Come here, you. There you go. Not making any of them shiny. I don't really care for a lot of their shiny forms. Actually, I do like him green, so we'll... Oops. I do like him darker brown. Yeah, if you want to be honest, a lot of their shinies are kind of whatever. But I'll make those two shinies. Favorite regional bird? You. Favorite regional mammal? You. Favorite box legendary? You. Favorite mythical? Oh my fucking god. Why are his legs so long? Shaman. Favorite Ultra Beast? This motherfucker, he cracks me up. I love him. Favorite regional bug? Do I have to? Favorite pseudo legendary? Ooh. Dragon, probably. Favorite paradox? Favorite type? Dragon. Favorite Pikachu clone? I don't have one. Ew. Favorite evolution? Umbreon. Favorite Pokeball? Oh. 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 I mean, I don't know. Like, a Pokeball's a Pokeball, I guess. I like the green one. That one's kind of cool. Favorite fossil? Ooh. You. It's you. I don't even know why I'm pretending. Favorite regional form? Oh my god. I really do like him. Favorite Vivillon? This one. Favorite Alchemy? The green one. Ooh. Ooh, that one. Okay. Favorite Gigantamax? Surprising no one. It's this. But okay, so it's that, but this. There we go. Much better. Shiny evolution. Ooh, okay. Ugh! Sorry, I forget what some of these bitches look like shiny. What are you gonna say? What were you gonna say? Say it. Alright, you can be. Favorite baby? Oh, I have a special place in my heart for Togepi, believe it or not. Favorite new evolution? Oh, shit. Hi, Dingo. How are you? Peach likes the giant gaping mouth, but only if it's white. No! I like it both ways! No! I like Honchkrow a lot. You're at work? Oh, okay. Check my DMs. What the fuck? Is this legit? Gore. 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 Is this legit? Gore, is this fucking legit? Chat, hold on. Is this fucking legit? Pokemon, shut up! Pokemon, shut the fuck up! Holy fucking shit! You gotta be fucking with me. Oh my god, I'm actually crying. We finally got an announcement! DMCA, fuck it. I don't give a shit. DMCA me all you want. I'll suck your dick. I will suck their dick for this. I'll get on my hands and knees. I will suck with my hands tied behind my back. Do not doubt me. Oh my fucking god. Oh my fucking god. Oh my fucking god. April? April? Holy shit. Holy fucking fuck, I can't type. Fuck. Oh my god. Oh my my god. It's season 3, so season 3 is gonna be the last season. Oh my god. What if I fucking gagged on the dick so hard that I puked? What if I did? What if I did? What if? What if? What if I did? I fucking win. I fucking win. I'm a winner. I'm a winner, chat. I'm a wiener. I'm a wiener, chat. Oh. Oh my god, this best news of my fucking life. What if I've never fired a force? Please do. Please do. At some point, please fire a force. Please fire a force. Please. Oh, I popped my fucking jaw. Oh. Oh, I popped my fucking jaw. Oh, that hurts so bad. Oh, that hurts so fucking bad. What the fuck is this? Is that a fucking werewolf? What is that? Oh, it's Black Butler. Okay. Oh, I popped my jaw. It hurts so bad. I fucked myself. Oh. Ow, that hurt. I'm okay. I popped my jaw and there's no dick yet. Yeah. I'm not doing well. I mean, I'm winning. I'm winning for sure. But I went a little too hard, I think, and here I am. Also, my brothers did get me some Bishoujo standees because they are at Anime Expo right now. So I'm winning, and my wedding ring's coming in like 3 more days, so I'm winning. Thank you for feeding Grim. I almost said Gore. I should make a feed redeemer. Every time y'all type it, like, Gore gets pizza shoved in his mouth. Gore, thank you for petting chat. Alright, I'm actually gonna try out this game today. I promise I am. It's finished downloading. I can play the game now. Oh yeah, and my model's almost done. That's true. Well, just the art, not like the model itself. It still has to get rigged. And I think the assets still need to be finished too. I don't think the assets are done yet. And prom's tomorrow! Ah! I didn't go to prom. Oh shit. I need a controller? Okay. I have a controller. What the fuck? Okay. Alright. Oh my god, I just booted up this fucking game. And my fans are already going. That's terrifying, actually. A little bit. That's actually a little scary. Oh, and they were just making sure everything's good, I guess. Is that what I needed? Okay. The new Fairy Tail series starts on Tuesday? Oh. And neither did I, but I was out to it apparently. I told you this. I think you did. Yeah, that does sound familiar. Oh, gang. I almost clicked stop streaming. I almost clicked stop streaming. Gang. I almost ruined the world tour. I almost ruined the world tour. Alright. Oh boy. This is gonna ruin the tour. Okay. I almost did. HDR? I was trying to adjust. Hold on. I need to go back. I was trying to adjust. Oh. Oh. Oh, I see. Okay. Uh-huh. 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 Adjust brightness. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna change the category. It lies of pieces. Oh my god. Can I have bordered windows? Hold on, real quick. Okay, we're gonna do that for just a second. I still can't click off the fucking game! Suck me off, game! Alright. Lies of Pieces. Alright, there we go. Lies or P? I think you have to type it in, right? Additional content. There are no benefits to claim. Oh, shit. Okay. Alright. We're at least gonna start this fucking game. Use the phone to answer the King of Riddles correctly and get a Trinity key. You can use it to unlock a Trinity Sanctum. What the fuck? Carlo Collodi.
Can you hear me?
Yep. Quite well.
Geppetto's puppet. We need your help.
Okay, my mic got unplugged for a second. Geppetto's puppet. I want that around my throat. Okay, sorry. We just got here. Wait, am I a puppet or am I man? Left arm of steel. Aw, he's got kind of like a cute... He looks more baby in-game than he does... Is he a puppet? That looks like a man to me. Oh. We be stalking.
Ah, there you are. I've been looking all over for you.
Have you? I'm like walking so slow. How do I run? Oh, that punching did something to my arm. Hello? Am I talking to whoever's on the floor? X is interact. Gemini.
I see they got Jiminy too. But we have to hurry.
Jiminy.
My name is Sophia. Please come to Hotel Cross.
Not the ad! Now's not the time!
Jiminy, please escort him to the hotel.
Jiminy? That's Gemini. Use belt. Select upper belt, select lower belt. Use the selected belt item. Quick item and gestures on the belt to use them. Hold down to activate the extra bag. Use the item where it's at. Okay. Ah. Okay, I see. Weapon durability. Oh! That's a lot of blood. Okay. Oh! Yeah, it is a bloody hell situation. Can't get behind the bar. Alright. Yeah, I'm very Timothy Chalamet. Timothy Chalamet. Alright, we use our robot arm for everything.
Out of there. Find something that might help.
Yeah, sure. Do I have to walk like this? It's making me a little nervous, the way he's walking. Fucking bloody hell, even. Yeah. Oh, that's a sword.
But the streets are not safe.
I know they're
Be
not.
careful with
I'm from the hood. I know the streets aren't safe,
It'll be
Sophia.
helpful on your way to the hotel.
Alright. Give me the sword, Sophia. Path of the Cricket, balance. Path of the Bastard, dexterity. Path of the Sweeper, strength. Oh. Balanced combat style with both power and speed. A quick and nimble combat style. Heavy combat style. Oh shit. Okay. Let's try... I'll start with Path of the Cricket. We'll start with balance, I think. Yeah. Oh, now I can run. Okay. So how does this work? So you use triangle and then... Oh. Oh, that's a block. Okay. Okay. I can punch. Got it. There are no invincibility frames in this game when you dodge. Oh, I see. Got it. Okay. Switch weapon. Extra bag. Got it. Lock on. Dash dodge. Got it. Okay. Guard. Menu. Oh. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. The P organ's energy all at once die upon use. The old man feared the possibility of his son failing to awaken properly and going into a frenzy. The initialization device was made as a necessary evil for delicate readjustments. Small lamp with a cricket guide puppet inside. It illuminates the darkness with a faint light. Oh. Repairs weapon durabilities. It decreases each time you attack an enemy with a weapon. Use a grinder to repair your weapon. When durability falls to 0, the attack decreases and the weapon cannot be repaired with a grinder. Oh, shit. Pulse cell restores HP. Oh. Okay. The maximum number of times pulse cells can be used. When you reach the maximum, the cell will be discharged. If you attack enemies while the cell is discharged, the pulse cell will gradually be recharged. How do we know the game isn't lying to us, though? Gestures. We can sit. Check the ground. I see. Okay. Amulets. Defense parts? Fascinating. Oh. Cannot be changed here. Fuck! Jesus. Use in time with an enemy's attack to deflect it and dodge it back. While dodging, follow up with a normal or special attack to deal more damage. Damn! Greatsword cannot disassemble / stab. Holy shit. Hold on, just out of curiosity. That's kind of sick. Okay, we're gonna start with that just because it's kind of cool. And I mean, we have it. Might as well use it, right? Character info. Okay. Usable items. We'll put my gestures in the usable bag, I guess. Oh, wait, costume? He's pretty, but I can make him not pretty. He's pretty, but I can change that. That's so funny. Yeah, I gotta play as a dog. You're so damn right. Alright, there we go. Dog. Okay. We can play the game now. Damn. That had some fucking oomph to it. Wall lock on. Use right to switch targets. Okay. Normal attack, special attack, hold down to charge an attack. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Look! If I can be a dog, I'm gonna be a fucking dog. Damn! Okay. I feel like everything is so loud. At least that rain is fucking loud as hell. Hello? Ooh, use a pulse cell to recover HP. There's a maximum number of times that can be used. When you reach the maximum, it will be discharged. If you attack enemies while it's discharged, it will be gradually charged. Good to know. Okay, so there are doors around here. Gotta up the durability after you attack things. Damn, that's a little aggressive, I think. Oh. How long has that dude been standing there and I just didn't notice him? Okay, that's not a door. Nice. Oh, that feels good. Yeah, I got that dog in me. Yeah, I don't know. It just feels good. Should I press that button? Or should I come up here first? I'm gonna come up here first. Okay, let's see. That's an open door. Guard. You can block enemy attacks by guarding. If your guard's successful, your character will take reduced damage, but it will consume stamina. The reduced damage will be transferred to guard regain. When guard regain accumulates, but gradually decreases over time. While you have guard regain, you can attack enemies to recover HP. If a guard succeeds right before being hit, it triggers a perfect guard. When a perfect guard is successful, you will not receive damage, only stamina will be consumed. You can use perfect guards to destroy an enemy's weapon or put the enemy in a staggerable status. Okay. Hi, Mara. How are you?
You cannot see the dark. Switch me on and gently will light the way.
Oh no, someone ate a piece of jupe. Jupe has fallen. I hear that big bitch. Ow, see? Okay. Thermite. That's pretty cool. Ooh. So obviously not a mistake. Look. I will neither confirm nor deny whether or not Jupiter's falling is a mistake. That guy down there is just beating away at the floor, at a guy? I'm not really sure, but he's very loud about it. Hi, Doggy! Man, I look good. I like how we didn't even really get into this game as the man. If anyone finds this note, get out of the station and run. Be sure to steer clear of the waiting room. I saw a huge puppet smashing people to death in there. I locked the door, but I don't know if that'll work. At least it should stop people from randomly coming in. If I'm going to die soon, so I want to help you, even if it's not much. Please survive. Anyone. Why the fuck am I here? Yeah, he's beating that guy off. Dash and press L3 to jump. Damn! Okay, yeah, so these bitches do ridiculous amounts of damage. I see how it is. Yeah, they crip walking around with a stanky leg and everything. Man, we live in a weird world of puppets, huh? Oh shit. Lock device. There are doors and ladders all throughout Krat that are locked by devices. You can unlock these doors or go down ladders to create shortcuts. Nice. So, I have a weird feeling. Hold for a charge attack. While you're charging, a white outline will appear. You can make the energy staggered. Ah, okay. Bet. Okay. So you benefit from doing a perfect guard, but I'm not great at that, so we'll learn. I got really tired recently despite only having been awake for 8 hours, so instead of accepting it and going to sleep, I've gone full scorched earth to take my ADH meds now because I forgot to do it this morning. Oh no. I don't know if that was the play, bestie. Alright, is there another door in here, or was the point of killing him just so that I didn't have to do all this again? That's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Oh, it's to get this door. Right. This door's locked. Not anymore, it's not. Clap! He did have items on him, and one of those items was this. Was this key. It was the key I needed to get in there. Dope. This place looks like it sucks. Repair the Stargazer. Don't mind if I do. Use a Stargazer for fully recovering HP and stamina, as well as charging your pulse cells. You will be revived at this point in case of death. This process also revives enemies, not just your character. Got it.
This is called a Stargazer.
I don't negotiate with terrorists, and my circadian rhythm is the biggest terrorist of all. Oh no. I took it twice because I thought it was a Groundhog Day situation. What does that mean?
As we are not strong enough to beat the puppets.
Okay.
But
That's a
if I
dead-ass
lend my
horse.
power to this Stargazer for a moment. Gather Ergo, clever one.
Ergo?
This Stargazer will make you stronger. But the Stargazer's strength doesn't last forever. So be
I've never
careful
watched
what you
Groundhog Day, no.
Hurry up and come to Hotel Krat.
That's to be Bloodborne. Why are you annoyed about the fact that you beat Bloodborne? Oh, Ergo. I see. So HP, we want to go up on HP. We want to go up on stamina. For sure. And then we'll do... We'll balance it out, I think. We're watching Groundhog Day today. I don't know if we'll have time to watch Groundhog Day today. Firebomb. Fragment of Ergo. Cogwheel. Be thrown. Rapidly changes Fable. Fascinating. There's so much left to do, and I also didn't do the DLC. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, so this is physical damage reduction rate. Ooh, okay. Oh, that goes up. Okay, we'll take that then. I think I can still roll. Okay, good. I am playing Lies of P. I've never played before though, so I'm learning. It just finished downloading and everything, so I'm... That's a dog? A puppet dog or just like a dog? Stop. I ran out of stamina. I didn't even realize. Jesus. Use a belt item. Can be used for throwing objects in a long range attack. Fascinating. Okay. Puppet Frenzy. Damn, the puppets are taking over. Bloodborne was boring. I mean, I haven't played either of them long enough to know if it was boring or not, but I rather enjoyed it. I like what I have played at least. I rather enjoyed. I haven't played Sekiro yet either. I'm doing Elden Ring first because I already own that. Bet. I miss Elden Ring, which is why we're playing Lies of P. Oh. Already though, this game is so much darker. Like, in, like, graphics. I'm having fun with it though so far. I mean, I haven't really made it that far. It's, Hi, sir. Thank you. Can I unlock this, or? Nope. Sekiro would be funny to watch if you stream because it's very parry, counter, rhythm intensive. It would be funny because I'd just be mad the whole time. And you love to make me mad. Whee! I don't know why you like to make me mad so much, but you do. Oh, okay, so there's another path here. Ooh, ouch. Alright. I see how it is. You mad is funny content? Yeah, until I'm in a bad mood for the rest of the night, and then you have to deal with it. I just like how many bosses you can actually parry in Bloodborne. Because using guns to parry is cool, but the bosses you use it on are such a minority. I wouldn't know, like I said, I've never really played. And even when I do play, I'm not really, like, big on parrying for some reason. Look, I don't know if I was supposed to start out the game with this weapon, but I got this weapon from buying the game, so... You fucking dick. Use blade arts. What? Oh, is that what that is? Okay, we'll have to try that. Start Elden Ring. What? Absolutely start Elden Ring. I adore Elden Ring. Huh? Do not. It is safe. Is it safe? Does it feel very safe? This place actually kind of feels like it sucks. That says Fable Arts? Yeah. Oh, I did it again. I didn't mean to. Some enemies become red and use a strong attack called a Fury attack. You can't dodge or guard, but you can counter with a perfect guard. Oh no. Oh. I gotta get better at blocking. This game wants you to guard a lot, and I'm not very used to it. This game wants you to do a lot of guarding, which is fine. But like I said, I'm not.
Destination Hotel Mod.
I'm just not.
Optimal location for observing the destination.
I'm just not very good for it. I'm just not very good at it, so. Oh, yeah, sure is. I see it. I'm not a big parry or guard person. I'm kind of a more of a dodge and shoot kind of person. Oh my god. Come on. Ugh. Ow. Alright, luckily I recharged that because I really needed it. When you get the chance, I sent you more things in DM. Oh, okay. I'll do that here in a minute when I get a break. I will check that out in just a sec. Oh, I could have come from up here. R1 or R2 while falling down. Oh. Alright, I know where I need to go, but I don't think I've ever used a shield to any effect. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Ah! Gate. Okay. Great, 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 great. Can I not open it from this way either? Oh my god. Okay. Well, I got the item if nothing else. That's so fucking sick. Something about the way, like, it charges is super sick. Yeah, I kind of really love the spear. The spear came for buying the game while it was on sale. So did all the costumes. But I will say I do love it. And I think this just leads me back to where I came from. Yeah, sure does up there. Okay, cool. Yeah, the spear is super cool.
A powerful parade puppet is blocking the entrance, and that's the only way in. So please, be careful.
Uh-oh. Is that what that is? A parade puppet? Is it just a visual thing or does it play different from the sword? Oh, it plays different from the sword. Completely. Yeah. So all the weapons in this game have their own, like, fables and... And, like, all of that. So it does play different. Well, I'm out of healing, so this guy might kill me. Unless this isn't the puppet we're talking about. Oh no, it's the training puppet. I see. you can test out different weapons, I guess. Hello?
Hello there. Welcome to Krat, visitor.
Oh, it's a merchant.
I didn't think there were any stalkers left to fight the puppets. You didn't hear? Figures. The whole
Fascinating.
organization fell apart. All that's left are wannabes and amateurs who think they can fight on their own. You ought to buy something while you're at the festival. You can't rely on yourself alone.
Okay.
Out here alone, you could use some.
Ah. Different swords. Rapier. Great Sword of Fate. Throwing Sail. Electric Blitz. Ooh, temporarily gives your weapon electric blitz. That's kind of cool, actually. We're gonna up my stamina. But up stamina. And then we'll up technique. I think it's fine. And then can't really do anything with my arms. I don't really have any amulets. Don't have anything different there. Usable items. Instantly repairs weapon durability. It's an emergency repair tool. Rapidly charges Fable. Fascinating. Okay. We're gonna keep it easy for now. Introducing the Puppet Parade! Let's see. Parade Master. 16 dolly songs, cheerful laughter, and 54 parade phrases. Parade dances to delight children. The strength to carry 6 men on his shoulders. Oh, this is what I'm gonna have to kill. Oh, okay. Yeah, this thing's probably gonna kill me. That's why they have the training dummy here, is for you to practice blocking. But I'm just gonna run in, and we're just gonna hope for the best. Because why not? Jesus! P? Chill out, man! Oh, that's a big-ass bitch. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. Got it. Okay. Oh, shit. L1. Ow. Oh, I'm out of... Can't move. Oh, I'm gonna die. What is L1 And X? L1 and oh. Oh! Okay, I'm definitely dead. I'm trying to figure out buttons. I just learned that Dodgers fans see Gora as a good luck charm now. Yeah, I heard about that. Okay, got it. You may die a lot? Yeah, I figured I would. That's okay, I'm learning. Death Ergo is created as oh, at the entrance. Fascinating. I'm learning, so I'm okay with dying a lot, if you want me to be completely honest. I like that you get your shit back before you go into the boss, so if you wanted to go back and level up, you can. Fucking Dark Souls, or Elden Ring should do that shit. Alright, we're gonna try that again, because I was actually doing pretty good. Ugh. Alright. Alright, let's go. Come on, big boy. Oh god. Come on, big boy. Oh. Take a swing. No, I missed. Three. Ow! Okay. Come get me. Come on. Ow. I'm better at blocking than Ow! I'm better at dodging than I am at blocking. Got his ass! Okay, we're good. Yeah, easy. Easy. No biggie. Ergo. You can bring out the puppet's unique abilities. Oh. Nice. Is there gonna be another one on the other side, or am I gonna have to go back if I want to level up? Where the fuck am I? Fable Catalyst. Fable Catalyst. Yeah, so I'm better at dodging than I am at blocking, which is probably going to come back to bite me later on in this game, but... Hello? Oh. Alright. Hotel cart. Hotel Krat. The greatest luxury you will ever experience. I doubt that, but...
One more thing I should mention.
Yeah?
The hotel's security excludes puppets like you.
Why?
So you'll have to lie to get inside. You're
Well-
a special puppet after all.
I mean, I am, but what if I didn't want to lie? Also, why do they exclude puppets like me? Why are they racist? Is it because I'm black? Oh no. The Moonstone is not from this world. Weapon upgrade. Oh. Chat, I hate to break it to you, I think the puppets are racist. I'm gonna go in, I'm just making sure. It's because you're a dog. Fuck! Shit, it is because I'm a dog, isn't it? Oh, this is the worst. It's totally because I'm a dog.
Welcome to the sanctuary of the Grand Covenant.
Alright.
Prove your identity.
Okay.
Who are you?
Who am I? I am human.
Grand Covenant's fourth law. A puppet cannot lie. Welcome to Hotel
Oh, a puppet can't lie, so I can get away with lying because I'm not really a puppet. I see. Oh, my weapon durability's down. Good night, Yiggy! Thanks for coming. They only let in pure breeds, no mutts here. I'm a purebred. Look at me. German Shepherd all the way. I'm a real boy! Fun. You're not a purebred, you're very obviously a dog. Shut up! Let me be! And you're very obviously an ant, dog ant. Oh, Geppetto. Oh, I actually hate that. That's actually awful. So we made all these puppets so that humans wouldn't have to work anymore, I guess. And like the heavy labor, and then they went apeshit, I guess. And then started just killing people. So I was made as a human puppet to fix the problem. I guess. As they do, yeah. Puppets tend to go apeshit, yeah. So something happened and they started to go buck wild and started murdering people. Damn. That's crazy. Damn, that's crazy. Those are humans in there. Whoa. They're lynching people? That goes beyond just murder when you start lynching people. There's emotions there. And then there's me. Twink. Antonia is the owner of Hotel Krat. The disease is eaten away at her. The disease. Alright. Wood. I haven't seen all of her face, but they started at tit level, so wood. I'm a fucking dog!
Happy to see you.
Are you?
I am Sophia.
Oh, Sophia.
I've been waiting for you.
So, Sophia.
All over the city of Krat to find you.
Have you?
You must have questions. Geppetto will have answers.
Will Geppetto have answers?
We have to find him first.
Oh,
He was last
God.
seen on Elysian Boulevard. All of Krat is dangerous for humans,
Krat.
and that neighborhood is one of the scariest.
Is it?
Please find Geppetto on Elysian Boulevard. I'll explain more once you find him.
You can level up through Sophia using the ergo. You can increase your stats when you level up. Yeah. Oh my god. That is so fucking funny.
Look at Gemini. I think he's in shock.
Jenny is fine.
That's proof you're broken. Gemini isn't so calm.
Why are her baby hairs on the? Is that the shadow of the hair,
I can fix him.
or are her baby hairs black
Wait,
on her neck?
take this pocket watch.
Why are her hairs black? Fucking my
Labyrinth.
dead ass eyes.
This watch
Oh my
guides you to
god,
safe
my
place.
dog's my
Be
dead
careful.
ass dog eyes.
Clever one.
I'm sorry. I know, like, she's gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. I love the outfit. I love everything
Use
about
my
her.
power to help you. Ergo is the
But
miracle
also,
that
like,
Krat
yeah, she
prospered.
might dye her hair. I think so.
Without Ergo,
So fucking
there would
funny.
be no automated puppets to make Krat wealthy.
Give me a Scooby snack,
When
please.
you move, you tap into the power
Please.
of Ergo within
Scooby
you.
snack, please.
Gather more Ergo.
Please.
It will make you stronger.
Why doesn't she wear a jacket normally? I wear my jacket like that sometimes, like when it's cold, but I don't want to have my sleeves in because I know I'm gonna get hot again soon.
In the folklore of Krat, a cricket often acts as a guide,
Oh god.
but Gemini is unique.
Jiminy Cricket.
It's more than just a guide.
There's a cat up there.
As you get
I gotta
more
go bark at
familiar
it.
with Gemini,
Hold on, Sophia. Sophia, hold on. Anyways. Okay.
Welcome to Hotel Krat. My name is Polendina,
Sorry.
butler to Lady Antonia.
I'm unwell.
Please let me know how at Hotel Krat. Welcome to Hotel.
Oh, you can buy stuff from him? Oh, nice.
The Grand Covenant is a set of absolute commands imprinted on puppets when they are made.
Okay.
First law.
All puppets must obey their creator's commands. Well, that didn't work out.
Second law. A puppet may not harm humans.
That didn't work out either.
Third law. A puppet protects and serves humans and the city of Krat.
None of these worked out.
Fourth law. A puppet cannot lie.
Okay, that one may have worked out.
I've told you about the laws engraved upon every puppet. Do you require anything else?
No. I was just curious. Okay, I'm gonna be so real with y'all. She is fine though. Oh! She is fine though. Look at the fucking hips on this woman. God damn! God, I'm just a fucking dog.
I'll
Literally.
use my power to
I just wanted to see the Stargazer. Oh, you can teleport from Stargazer to Stargazer. Ah. That's kind of nice. Hi, Amatsu. How are you? I'm gonna go look around and for a little bit then. Hello? Ma'am?
Expected guests are welcome. We don't insist on reservation.
Hi, Antonia.
I am
Procrastinating hard right now. What are you
and this
procrastinating on?
is my hotel.
Check your DMs real quick.
Welcome.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Give me a second.
Well,
I'm doing alright,
I
honestly.
knew from the moment we met that you're Geppetto's puppet.
Oh, did you?
He might have a few.
Oh,
loose
editing?
ends,
Yeah, I feel that. I edit a lot.
Geppetto's skills
I procrastinate a lot on my editing.
It's a shame. He took off for Elysian Boulevard.
I'm recovering from being drunk yesterday, so I'm kind of like, ooh.
If he doesn't turn up soon, we'll have to make a new coffin.
You alright, ma'am?
Oh, I forgot. I was keeping this for him.
Yeah?
It comes with a long story.
It's gonna be me tomorrow. I don't drink very often. This is the first time I've drank in like 2 years.
Please find that old man.
Someone's memory. Show off clothes. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on, gang. Check it out. Check out my drip. I drank an entire bottle of soju. I was tipsy. I wasn't drunk, I guess. But it's been a long time since I last drank. So. I didn't think the dog hand would follow me over to the character screen. Oh my god. I'm in hell. Oh, look at that. I could be nicely dressed. I don't really want to be nicely dressed, though. I kind of like looking like a fucking trash monkey. You were beautiful. Is there anything else you wanted to say?
I've no idea. Thanks for keeping me company.
About
I
lying?
see you're here. Your lives are a rare ability. People
Fascinating.
on the outside are still afraid of puppets. I'm an old friend of Geppetto. Make yourself at home. If you have any questions, ask me.
Paulandina. Oh, fascinating. So, I'm supposed to lie to people because they can't know that I'm a puppet because people are afraid of puppets because puppets are assholes in this universe? Got it. So don't tell anybody I'm a puppet unless absolutely necessary. But if you lie to someone, it might upset them. Alright, cool. Good to know. So I need to be careful about who I lie to because I need to... I'm gonna check my DMs! Chill out! I'm looking. I'm exploring. I already spent the first hour of stream not playing this fucking game that I said I was gonna play. Because I had to upload because I was stupid and forgot to download it before I started stream. And this game is fucking massive. Ah, door's locked. So I'm gonna look. I made it past the starting screen of this fucking game that I said I was gonna play. Let me in. I need Rosa Isabel Street entrance key. Alright. Cool, so nobody will let me in. Good to know.
You're here to see Master Geppetto, right? Come this way.
Who the fuck is
I
talking to
heard
me?
about you from Geppetto, but to see you in person. Wow.
Where am I?
You should take this. Geppetto left it with me.
That's cool. Where am I? How did I get in here? What is it? Oh my god! Geppetto, what the fuck? The Legion arm. Legion arm can be modified? The Vagini craft machine.
The sound of it must be something else. Oh, I forgot to introduce myself.
Is it Eugene?
I am Eugenie. from the
Eugenie.
Workshop Union. I know my way around weapons of all. If any of your weapons, I know my way around.
Oh.
A stargazer is a survivor. It powers itself
Okay.
by stalkers installed stargazers all across. If you want to test your skills or try new techniques,
The
head for
garden?
Don't look at me like that. Everyone hates puppets.
Alter handle? Whoa. Each handle property upgrades based on your character's default abilities. You can always reset it with a balance crank. Whoa. To go up in motivity. Oh. Cool. If you have a moonstone, she can help you upgrade a weapon's blade. Their attack power. Oh, so I need a dark moonstone. They have a hidden moonstone. Okay. Where the fuck am I? Is that the way I came in from? It's not. It is? I came in from here, I think. Sure did not. Where am I? What? Oh, okay, so this is where I came in from. Okay, so go back in. Why doesn't that door just stay open? I feel like that would be easier for me. Another fucking kitten? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We were literally talking the other day about the fact that we don't want any more fucking animals in our house. She's cute. And I mean, all kittens are cute. Alright, hold on. Gore insists that I need to look at DMs. So, let me do that real quick. Apothecary Diary Season 2 coming to Crunchyroll in 2025. I knew that. They announced it already. 1,000 Year Wars for October this year. Okay, and then My Hero... I heard about the My Hero Academia movie already. And I already knew about the Apothecary Diaries. Bleach, though, is good to know that we're getting that this year. And not, like, later. I appreciate that. Okay. So, am I supposed to go out this way? She stopped me, so maybe this way? Oh, no, this is the garden. So this is where you practice shit. Who are these ladies? Alright. Great fortune to all visitors, rest for all travelers, blessings to all friends. Yeah, so this is the garden where you test stuff. Fatal attack. Face a staggered enemy, press F1. Damn! Okay. Perfect guard. Perfect guard. Fatal attack. Got it. Okay. I understand how this works now. That wasn't as good. Got it. Alright, I understand how that works. Good to know. I love that I can't hold my weapon in here. That's really funny to me. I can't even, like, sharpen my weapon in here. That's really funny to me. I can't have my weapon out here either. Can purchase items from Paul and Dina at the hotel. Yeah, I knew that. Because I tested all of those options already. Alright. Oh. Dog head again. Oh boy. Oh boy. Up. Thank you, Gore. For the bark. Oh god, the noises make it sound like there's like always something about to jump out at you. What the fuck is that?
Hey, let's be more careful. The Black Rabbit Brotherhood. I hate these guys.
The fuck?
But don't be alarmed. My name is Gemini. We'll talk later, when we're safe.
Okay. What the fuck am I supposed to do here? Just not stand in the spotlight? That the idea? Oops, wrong button. Where are they? I don't need to use it, but... Use the Legion arm. Oh my god! I could drag these bitches to me. Get over here. Get over here. That is so funny. I kind of love that. There wasn't a way to go straight, was there? Okay, no, there wasn't. Mother Fairy. Clements? Clements?
Elysian Boulevard was a regular rich people row.
Was it?
You wanted fancy boutiques and shops. No place better.
Really?
But that was long ago. Before the puppet frenzy.
Aren't you not also a puppet? Ow. Only downside about this weapon, you cannot be in tight spaces with it. I can't press that button. Yeah, it's gonna fucking shock me. Gotta press it on the other side. Like, it's not just me, right? Like, Jiminy is also... Ow. Ow. That guy fucking sucks. Any of these guys that have guns need to be in the ground. Ooh, a chest. Oh, ow. That is not a fun sound. I have no idea what that is. Oh, it's a defense part. Menu, equipment, defense parts. Oh. Is critical damage reduction rate. Oh, yeah, don't mind if I do. Ah, okay, so my shit's heavy. So my movement and speed are down. Got it. I have a feeling I don't want to be in the light, but we're gonna try it, I guess. Oh, ladder. Ow! Oh! Ow. Please stop shooting shit at me. I do not like it. Emergency ladder. Very nice. Alright. I think I'm getting the idea of how this game works. Don't care much for how much I'm getting shot at, but, you know. Oh god. Shit. Well, fuck. I need to get better at dodging. And I need to up my fucking stamina. That would probably help too. I think my stamina would help for sure. Can't shoot me now, bitch. Stamina reloads so slow. Oh god. Shit! This fucking dude! I know it's because I'm like heavy. I need to up my what I can carry. But oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I was doing so good, now I'm just letting the normal ass bosses get me. I'm starting to get hungry. Alright. Up. Oh. Fuck you, bro. That guy sucks. Fuck that guy. Alright, we're in this house. Nice and quiet. I'm about to get jumped. It's just you. Use my last one so I can power up while I kill all these little fuckers. Alright. Oh, Jesus. Why the fuck do you have so much shit? Okay, where's the gunman? Alright, got it. Hate you. Hate you. I will admit, this game is pretty fun. Is it a bit of a pain in the ass? Yeah, because you gotta time that shit perfect. But it's fun despite that. There's an item over there? Oh, I'm gonna risk falling to get that item, but I want it. I am! I literally just said the game's fun. I am having a good time with it. You just have to, it plays definitely different for sure. But I will say, it's very smooth, like... There are people inside these houses. Something's shooting shit at me. Don't really know what. Oh, you. Ow! That's some fucking bullshit. Oh. I will also say... It is a little difficult to keep up sometimes. Oh, I'm so dead. Like with just people on the roofs and... people from behind. Come on. All right. There's a dude up there. Oh, that's a big boy. I can't think or anything. I think the streets are already dead. Nothing but silence. I still remember the sound of your singing voice and the sight of Charlotte looking at picture books. I miss all of it. The best thing I did when I was alive is send you and Charlotte to the cathedral for shelter. With this, the nightmare was over. If only you and the kid could come back, but I guess now it's impossible. I love you, Louise, and I pray that you're safe there. Damn. Okay, yeah, so we definitely don't want to go fuck with that right now. So we're gonna go up. It looks pretty cool. It is really cool. I'm having a good time with it. Alright. The fuck? You get up? No, you didn't. That's just the dude from outside. See, I tried to dodge and I keep forgetting that I'm heavy. I'm hefty. So I cannot do that. How do you deal more damage? I just have to level up. But I need more stamina is what it is. I'm not dodging as well. Because this ring is too heavy. So my stamina is not going up as fast as I would like it to. Do like that quick climbing ladders does not affect stamina. Am I gonna have to kill this big boy again? Because if so, I'm gonna be real sad. Or is he just dead for good? Oh, okay, good, good, good. So he was like one of those, like... Good. Okay. That's actually really nice. Moves that do the most damage are heavy moves, naturally. But the best way to get that is, and then also by leveling up your weapon. Which I need a specific item to do. That I just currently don't have. Son of a bitch. There's a ladder here. I don't know where the fuck that ladder takes me. But we'll do that later. Because I need to go get my fucking shit. So. Ow! Stop! Fuck ass chimney sweeps. Ow! Fuck fuck ass chimney sweeps. Fuck these guys, man. Alright. Ow. Oh, yeah. Dodging is, it's stamina based, and the game doesn't want you to dodge. It wants you to, block. So, and I'm not good at that, so. What the fuck's up here? Oh, you. Don't. There's a big boy there. And there's a room beyond big boy. That's how Sekiro is, too. That's very fair. I'm really not interested in fighting this guy right now, so I'm gonna go down on this ladder over here and see what that does. Because if I try and fight this guy right now, I'm gonna lose all my shit and then I'm gonna have to run back. But if I take this ladder down, it might take me back to the main streets where I can level up real quick. So, I'm gonna try that. Y'all have dogs? Like, in your houses? Oh my god, I keep pushing that button instead of the button I mean to push. Alright. A bit slutty, don't you think? Well, good to know that that's what that ladder's for. Oh, interesting. Oh, that's what that door is. Okay. Got it. Yeah, so Sekiro I might struggle with. If that's the case for Sekiro. Because they don't, like, immediately attack you. They want to get right up in your face, and dodging, you can only jump back so far. If that makes sense. Okay, cool. Well, that's much nicer to get back. Why was a bit slutty the first thing I hear when I come back from the bathroom? Because it's true. Puppet string, trace, enables dodging after a hit. Ah. Trigger a link attack. Hmm.
I'm Gemini.
Hi,
your
Gemini.
puppet guide. Or friendly guide.
Yeah, that's how this works too, Gore.
I'm also a friend of Sophia's. Last time I woke up, Sophia was there because... Sorry. Must be the shock. Bear with...
Yeah, so Sekiro's entire combat is dependent on you parrying attacks to build up stagger. Yeah, that's pretty much how this is. So the more you parry, the higher chance you get to stagger an enemy in this game. And once you stagger them, you get to do like a killing move that for bosses probably won't kill them, but for smaller enemies will. Wait, I can't like level up? Okay. Fascinating. Sorry, I thought I could level up at all of those, but some of them are just straight up teleporters, which is fine. Man, who the fuck put that big ass puppet here anyways? There has to be a faster way to get up and in. I need to figure out what the teleporter... Why was he so mad? I think all the puppets are just mad for no good reason. What did they do to make these guys so mad? Yes, it is my first playthrough. I've literally never touched this game before in my life. I bought it while it was on sale for the Steam sale. And I'm not very deep into it.
I'll use my power gel.
Alright, I need... up my weight for sure. Up my physical attack. I really don't know what the difference is between those. Health. Yeah, that should be fine for now. Try and be balanced as much as possible. As much as possible. Actually. Hey, girl.
I know my way around a weapon.
Hmm. Never mind. Okay, let's see. Back to where I was. Alidoro. Who the fuck is Alidoro? Alejandro? Anyways. Have you played any other Souls games before? I literally just finished the Elden Ring DLC. Like, not that long ago. Hey, gang. And by not that long ago, I mean by like 3 days ago. 2 days ago? I don't even remember. It was not that long ago, though. But I played all of Elden Ring and the DLC for Elden Ring. Hey, you gonna come down here? Thanks. Appreciate it. And then I played a little bit of Bloodborne and a little bit of Dark Souls 2. And that's really it. I've never beat Dark Souls or Bloodborne. I've been wanting to play Elden Ring, but I can't bring myself to do it. The early game is kind of boring. Do you think so? I honestly think it's kind of in-game that's kind of boring. In-game kind of gets a little tedious at times. I mean, compared to Liza P. Ow, you fucking bitch. Come here. Why'd you turn around that time and not the other 5 times I've come through here? Sack of shit. And this guy's just getting jumped. Because I can't stand you. Don't. Don't! God damn it! I hate these fucking dudes. With a passion, man. Look, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I'm having fun with this game. I am so not a blocking kind of person, though. I'm very much a move forward as quick as possible kind of person. So I am struggling a little bit with the dodge mechanics. Alright. That wasn't the worst. Any suggestion on what build you should go for? Dual Bloodhound Fangs. That's what I did, though. I love Bloodhound Fangs. I'm very partial. How do you get 2? You have to do a New Game Plus to get 2. So you can't really, but... Unless you want to do New Game Plus, but... But yeah, no, what Gore's saying is correct. Determine what weapon type you like the most. Hey, maybe don't. Dickhead. Like, if you're more of a magic person, there's tons of good magic builds. If you like more physical attacks, there's stuff for that. If you like dodging, there's builds that are better for that. I'm not going out there. I'm not... Yep, see? Fucking knew it. Fucking knew it. When the pea be lying, hi Cookie. The pea be lying.
Wait, I can sense something strange. Jeepers. Is that a butterfly?
Yeah?
Why is the ergo reacting like that? If you want to check it out, I can take point.
I killed it. Hidden Moonstone. Oh. I need those, actually, to level up, so... Very useful indeed. This map is so confusing. Yes! We did finish the Elden Ring DLC! Okay, so there's a ladder to get here. I should go down and unlock whatever is down there. Still getting through it myself and having a nice time. Oh, yeah, I had a great time with it. That's the sluttiest drop. Who raised this man? Oh my god. Ow, I fucking hate these guys. Oh god. Oh. This game's getting a DLC and sequel? Since when? Ow. I had no idea. It was in a dev interview? Oh, fascinating. Well, I mean, it's a fun game. Ow! I tried to dodge and I pushed the wrong button. I tried to oh, wait! That means I missed my fucking ladder! Shit, I should have gone the other way first. Dumbass. I'm so stupid. Hi, Devil! How are you? Thank you for the bark. Hey, bud.
Why, hello. Why, hello. I know what you're thinking, but I'm not. Don't worry.
Ah!
I won't cover your information.
What you got? Oh, fascinating. I didn't know there was a merchant here. Ow. Got it. Yeah, I guess I'm prepping for more DLC that I didn't even know about until right now. How did I already forget that that guy was back there? I'm not the brightest. Hey, big boy. Kinda want to do a strength build. Strength builds are fun. I like them. I think that's what I ended up doing, was a strength build. Oh, I missed a whole ass item up here. Oh, hello. Don't. See. This is exactly why I said don't. I don't know, something about this drop is kind of slutty to me. Ow! I don't have to attack those guys. I don't know why I insist on doing it. Let's get this gate real quick. Oh, cannot get that gate. Okay. I see how it is. I did not mean to shock myself, I promise. I was just being foolish. When I touch the car door and get staticked? Yeah. Alright, if you'd like chill the fuck out for a minute, thank you. There's an item back here I want. Oh, hi dickhead. Didn't even realize you were back here. I know I need to go back to where I died to get my items. So, let's go do that. I genuinely thought I'd be able to open that gate, but guess the answer is no. So, I'm not really sure why it's there. I don't have to hit those, so let's not take the extra damage.
I wish we could play together.
The hell are you talking about, boy? Why doesn't everyone want to lock on the dogs? Alright. Hell yeah. Decided my build, I'm gonna be a magical girl, except she has a sword that's bigger than she is. That's what Gore did. Alright. Ooh. You can jump in this game, but it's harder than it's worth. Whee! Workshop Union Standard Insulation Converter. What the fuck?
I miss you, Murphy.
Hello?
Who is it? Is that you, Murphy?
No.
Oh, I guess not. Sorry, I thought you were my friend, Murphy.
I'm not.
Murphy is a super cool police officer.
Oh, yeah?
As a puppet, even the petrification disease can't get him.
Oh, there's a disease?
I wish I was like him.
Damn. Y'all are sick as fuck.
You should leave so you don't catch the disease from me.
Well, you know.
If only we could Murphy.
Did I kill Murphy? Oops. I may have killed Murphy. I may have accidentally killed Murphy. Who knows? Murphy could just be Murphying around somewhere. You make a good point. We don't have to assume that I killed him. He could just be hanging out around here somewhere. Can I talk to you? You alright? Don't mind me, I'm gonna sharpen my sword outside of your door. Oh, there's like... Oh, okay. Ma'am, what happened? Oh.
This must be your first time
Hand.
in the petrification disease quarantine zone.
If this is quarantine, why do you have your window open and why are you trying to touch me?
For most people, this is their last stop.
Uh-huh. Stop trying to touch me, you have COVID.
You are a good Samaritan for coming all the way here.
Am I? Why am I moving so much?
May I ask you a favor?
Sure.
My family took my baby from me and sent me here.
Okay.
They said it was
I'm enough of a people.
but it was heartless, just the same.
Right.
A baby must be with its mother.
I don't think it should.
Please go to Quart City Hall and bring me my baby.
I don't really want to. I mean, I'll find your baby,
Thank you so much,
but
kind one.
you need to shut your window and I'll show her to you through the window like
Finally see
COVID
my
protocols.
sweet Elena's
How about that?
face again.
How about I go get your baby and I bring them to you and hold them to the
Please,
window?
hard scales spreading across my eyes.
This is a fucked up version of COVID. What the fuck do you
Before I
mean?
lose my sight. Please.
Okay. Did you...
She said the baby was at City Hall. Should we check it out?
I mean,
I hope everybody's safe.
yeah, we'll check it out. But like, I'm not handing her the baby through the window for damn sure. What the fuck is that? Oh god. Ow. Ow. Oh, wait, no, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do this. Ow. Okay. We got his ass. Oh, we got his baton. That's kind of sick. Oh, that guy was a police officer. Uh-oh. I may have killed your police friend. You're not a people. You can't get COVID. I think I can. Launch the baby with your robot arm? I don't think that's a good idea. I feel like that's how I accidentally killed this woman's baby.
It itches. Peel the skin and there's blue blood. Blood. Pretty cocoon. Blue angel. Joyful appetite. Blue death. What a feast. Death and death and death and death. I'm alive. Itches.
Alright, y'all hear that? It itches. Punt the child. Come here, you two. No, don't walk away from me. You're next. You're next. I want to punt a child. No, you don't! Stop saying that! Alright. Hit the button. There we go. Now that gate's open. Stop wanting to punt children! We like children here! Not like that! We just enjoy their presence. Alright. Alchemist Bridge. I don't think I want to be on the Alchemist Bridge yet. I want to affectionately punt a child? I don't think that's possible. Oh. Elevator. The fuck? That repaired it? Oh, it brings me back up here. Nice. I would like to level up. If that's at all possible. Oh, these dickheads are here. Come here! Where'd that other dickhead go? There you are. Come here. You too. It's too far away. Alright. I'm a little stuttery from time to time. Game's gorgeous, though. Like, in its own way. Does that say purge puppies? All oh, purge puppets.
Come out, Geppetto! You've got a lot to answer for!
Excuse me. Can I help you guys? Hi.
You know what caused the puppet frenzy, don't you? You're their maker, practically their father!
Beatboxing puppy.
You and the alchemist scheming together.
I'm just a dog.
Tell me the truth! What's your problem? I'm here for the old man. Get lost.
Is he in there?
Wait. I know you. Or more like, I know what you are.
What am I?
You're the devil's puppet.
What the fuck does that mean?
You can't sneak past me.
What the fuck?
Die!
What the fuck? Oh god.
Curse it, fucker! Back again!
Ow. Oh, you can get behind them. Hi. Oh. Ow. If you would stop rolling into me, greatly would appreciate it. Oh god.
Are you a dream or a nightmare? Stop showing up.
Oh! Am I just trying to kill a man? Come on. Come on. Oh god. Oh.
Cursed puppet! Back again!
Alright, got his ass.
The truth. Now
Yeah, the Shrek reboot would be wildin'. Why would you jump me like that? Dad! Is that you? I did not want to have to jump this human being. I'm here to kill puppets. Dog head makes me not take any of this seriously. Hey, old man.
Finally. It's a dream come true.
Oh, that bark was so
Seeing
perfect.
like this,
Oh,
I
God.
understand why some people despise me.
The dog-eat-dog world.
I invented the puppets after all.
Holy shit.
I should take responsibility. as
Oh,
the maker.
man. I really did piss on a nice
But in
rug.
order for me to do
And
that,
kill a man, but whatever. The
I
rug
need
was
to
more
take
important.
care of the puppets at City Hall.
What does that mean?
Won't you help me, son?
What, Dad?
Take this. You'll find it most useful.
Oh. Oh, I can be a donkey? Wait a minute. Hold on, Dad. Hold on, Dad. Hold on, Dad. Oh, yeah, baby. Donkey! Alright, alright, alright. We're going back to dog, though. I like dog too much.
I want to hear all about. Use the Stalker's key to open the bridge door.
Hee
Then get rid of the frenzied puppets that have seized City Hall.
Alright.
We'll catch up.
Oh, you're going back to the hotel?
I want to hear. We'll catch up.
Alright, alright. Ooh, item. Oh, thank you so much for clipping that. I appreciate it. That was so fucking funny. That bark was so on point. God, that bark was perfect. Cracky Plump Goldfish is definitely a URL name. Ah, I see. So there's just a lot of bitches down there. Oh. Oh. I dodge. Dodge. Destroy an enemy's weapon in a perfect guard. Was that a perfect guard? But it definitely didn't feel like it. Bet you I can't do anything with that. Yep. Yeah, you definitely can tell. I was just like, did that count? I've never played Sekiro.
About that weapon assembly tool you were talking about.
Gore has, but I never have.
Any more weapons?
Assemble weapons. Ooh. Ooh. That's kind of fun. Or the retaliation cracked here? Yeah, see. I never use any of that either. I don't ever do parry in games. I'm always very much just jumping people. I'm a bit of a menace. I just really like to jump people.
I know my way around I know my way.
You can assemble weapons too. Level up these. This game kind of relies on both since parrying deals posture damage. Yeah, I've noticed.
I'll use my power.
I'll do my best to get better at it, but no guarantees, no promises. All right. Up my weight, up my stamina. And then we'll up activity. Okay. No, that's fine. We'll do that for now. Ah! Thank you for the pet! I love Elden Ring keepsakes. Boiled prawn. Yeah! Elden Ring be built a little different. Okay, so if I have enough... Roll's a little slow. Okay. Yeah, I need to up my stamina so I can carry more than one weapon. Oh, actually... We're just gonna sit here for a minute. Don't mind me. I'm just shattering runes. You know how it is. You'll know how it is when you just have to stand and shatter runes for a minute.
I'll use my power.
I'm trying to like up my stamina. How is Eliza Peepee? It's pretty good. I'm having a good time. I'm fucking heavy though. I'm at 63% because I'm holding additional armor slots, but it's fine. It's just temporary. I just wanted to see. Magical Girl is ready to kill someone. Yep, that's what the game's about. You're absolutely correct. They are automated puppets. I just wanted to see. What the difference in weapon was. That's not awful. This weapon's definitely faster, I will say. You fucker. Really? But I don't care for it as much as I like this one, so. I was just trying out the sword. This weapon is, in my opinion, by far superior, so. What the fuck is that? Can I move? Jesus. I'm gonna go sideways. Lies in the pee-pee. Oh. Ugh. Is that the disease? What the fuck? Oh, their blood's blue. Oh, the arm is so far separated. Oh. Where the fuck is this gate? Oh, it just circles back around. I see. Blue. Oh, I guess so I don't have to fight those guys every single time. That is helpful. And there's so many flies. I'm hearing something on fire, and I'm scared of it. Mr. Vinigini's ambition to make a jolly police mascot puppet for City Hall ended in failure. His passion to make a trustworthy friend for citizens and a strong officer who overpowers criminals was in the right place, but turned out to be excessive. The new police officer puppet's overcharged storage battery exceeded its capacity, causing chain explosions, malfunctions, and serious body damage. The city council recommended disposing of the puppet on the grounds that its appearance intimidates visitors, but Mr. Vinigini and the taxpayers protested, halting the council's plan in its tracks. The puppet still lies abandoned behind City Hall to this day while the lawsuit is ongoing. The interesting thing is, even when the puppet is unattended, it performs a number of its mascot roles. It is especially popular with kids, and it even appears to react and respond to the playing of children. However, it has led to more slum children entering the City Hall and causing inconveniences to visitors. The City Council is considering exhibiting the puppet only occasionally as a means to restrict entry. Oh, I'm gonna get jumped by a cop. What the fuck's going on over there? Hello, sir? Oh. Oh, it's one of you. Ow. Ow. Fuck you. Now. Fascinating. Broken baby puppet. Oh no. I guess we can. Oh, the sound got crunchy as fuck. Yeah, it does that sometimes, and I don't know why. I guess I can give her the baby puppet. I should probably do that before I, Whoop! I guess I should just give her the baby puppet. Before shit gets worse. Crunchy sound. Ugh. This game is pretty upfront about its side quests. I do appreciate that, honestly. The fuck is this? Puppet Destroyer's Amulet. Ah. Okay, so I have a... Oh. Oh! This is a boss. I don't want to be here. If I can summon help. Good to know. I feel like, however, I should bring that woman this puppet, so I'm gonna do that. And then I have to stop playing. I've been playing actually way longer than I should have already. So it's already almost 11, and that's way later than I intended on playing, so let's bring this lady her puppet, I guess. Slay! I know I didn't have to run, I could have teleported, but I'm trying to get the map down, so I feel like running is best for that. Oh, you gotta be bullshitting me. Okay. That's not where she was. She's around here. Oh, I didn't even read this. Warning, petrification disease quarantine zone. Everyone is a patient or a lunatic. Do not speak to them. I already fucked up on that, so. Yeah, I don't know why it does that. I really have to figure out why. Because it's usually only the game audio. Usually it's not my voice at all. Hey, babe.
You found her, kind one.
Hmm. More or less.
I could sense her from miles away.
Could you?
Oh, my sweet Elena.
Elena. Yeah, well.
Please let me hold her.
Yeah, here you go. It's very obviously a doll.
There, my baby. I missed you so much.
I get it. I just... That's a doll, ma'am.
Do you think... Isn't my baby adorable?
She's a cute baby.
That's right, kind one.
Yeah, it's super COVID. I can't be mean to a woman with super COVID.
You've granted me my only wish. My sweet Elena.
Elena.
We're going to be happy now.
I mean, no, you're gonna die and that's a puppet, but it's fine. You don't need to know that.
So much, kind one.
I feel bad.
Please accept
I'd rather lie to you than tell you the truth in this
heartfelt
situation.
Gratitude.
it's a song? Oh. You can gain humanity. Oh. Well, I hope you have a good one, ma'am. I'm gonna go do my slutty pole drop. I feel kind of bad for lying to her, but I feel like if she couldn't feel that that was a puppet, it was probably for the best. She was probably really, like, far gone. Because, like, personally, I know the difference between a baby and a puppet. I think I could feel that. If you're at a point where you can't even feel the difference, like, you're pretty far gone. I think it's better just to be kind to you in your final days. You know, like, Alright, we're gonna go back to the hotel. I'll do this boss fight next time. So we don't have to worry about it. Gonna get myself more health before we go in, though.
I'll use my power.
If I can. I can't. That's fine. I'll do it next time. Real quick. I can obtain humanity. I found Geppetto.
Will have no thanks for keep.
Okay. Let's listen to the song real quick then, I guess. Okay. Oh, that's like actual music. Oh. Oh. I don't know why I was expecting it to be like all like instrumental, but yeah, that's how you feel about this, babe? You like it? I'm a dog. You like this music, babe? Did it turn you on a little bit? How about my face? My face turn you on a little bit? No? It's okay. I understand. We can't all be blessed with a face like this. But it's fine. Don't think about it. It's okay. You know you've got birthing hips. Okay, I'm out of here.
I know my way around.
I don't know how to Dark Covenant Moonstone. God, the dog face is getting me. Ooh. Ooh! Hold on, fuck it up! I don't recognize that glaive you got. I think I got it from, I don't know if it's DLC. When I got the game, it automatically sorry. It automatically gave it to me. It's the Azure Dragon Crescent Glaive. I'll look it up to see like where it came from. Because I'm actually not sure. Let's see. Crescent Glaive. Not glaze. It's a good weapon. And is worth upgrading. Given to players in patch 1.5.0.0. So yes, it was given in a patch. Indeed. And you can add elements to it through blind grindstones. Apparently a lot of people really like this weapon. Apparently doing Fable Arts on this weapon makes you skip bosses because they die in one wombo combo. People are saying if you fully level it up and get handle Fable art, it's like a 30-second thing for all of the bosses. Yeah, the music's great, honestly. I'm having a great time. But yeah, no, it's from an update from about 4 months ago. Upgrade it with the Aegis shield arm and you have the cheesiest weapon in game. Upgrade to +5, add the technique handle and whatever elemental grindstone you prefer, and you will melt anything if you're built for technique. Alright, good to know. My what? What did that fucking say? I didn't see it! What did it say? Scared the shit out of me! So far, though, we played for about 2.5 hours. I'm having... Oh, I got humanity. Okay. Scared the fucking piss out of me. So far, though, I am having a really good time. However, I do need to in-game because... Or I do need to in-stream today because it is already almost 11 p.m. And I would like to see my family for a little bit. So... We're gonna raid someone though, so don't go anywhere. Nothing more human than lounging and having a little bit of music listening. Honestly, you're so fucking right. I love lounging and listening to music, and it does make me feel human, so I can't even deny that. You're so right, actually. Having a little lounge, feeling a little human. Sounds good, you know? It feels good. Alright, I think we're gonna raid... Let's raid Eve, because Eve seems to just be chilling. Looks like he's playing some mobile games, which I feel like doesn't ever... He never really does. But he is now. So, we'll watch him do that for a little bit. Thank you guys for coming. Love y'all so much. And I'll be back streaming tomorrow at my usual time. I don't have anything planned tomorrow, so we'll be able to actually play more of that game tomorrow. And actually get more into it than just 2.5 hours in. But, thank you for coming. Sorry for being so late today. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, okay? Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.